I think he's waiting.
Uh,
Are you at the office?
yeah.
I thought we sold that bitch.
No, we have it until October. And I had some things to do. Well, I had to process the checks, and so I'm in a terrible mood.
I was afraid of that. I was just telling Jordan that I was afraid you were going to be cranky pants for the pod.
I am cranky pants. It's 2021. Why are people still stapling their checks to the invoice?
Those staples suck.
Sometimes with two staples, just to make sure the check doesn't fly off in the wind when you open it. Because it's 2021. Guess what? Nobody goes to a bank teller anymore to do their checks. It's all through a scanner, and it won't go through the scanner if it's damaged. So yeah, I have to go to the bank today on a Friday with a Delta variant for 2 checks out of about 35. And I'm tempted just to call them and say to reissue it and to let them know and to do them a favor and just let them know that it is 2021 and maybe get rid of your fax machine and don't staple checks. Jiminy fucking Christ.
Jiminy fucking Christ. Okay.
And I didn't get 1 ounce of sleep last night.
Why?
Well, that's not true. I got about an hour. I had a hell of a day yesterday, man. No power. And then I went and got jabbed. It was at the Whitty, and the Whitty Museum. The parking garage is like 100 yards from the Whitty. And it's, walking through the sun and the heat there and back. And I was just overheated. So I don't know if it was the jab or it was probably not the jab. It was probably just me being overheated and like I hadn't eaten all day, but I felt sick when I got home. So I got in bed and then I watched a movie called Pig with Nicolas Cage. Y'all heard of this?
No.
Is it old or new?
It's new. It's brand new. And anyway, Nicolas Cage, he's kind of an old grizzled man, and this movie kind of looks like me. And there's some pretty dark and violent scenes in the movie. And the pig kind of looks like Biscuit in the movie. So Biscuit watched it with me, and I shit you not, I think it traumatized her. Because Nick Cage gets the shit beat out of him like 3 times in the movie. So she whined all night long, just whined and shook and shaked. And so, but anyway, thanks for postponing the pod because of that day. But
well, the good thing is, Harry, we usually have pods. We usually don't have pods on Friday, but now that we had to postpone the pod to have it on Friday, you know what today is, right?
No. So your birthday or something?
International Beer Day.
Oh,
like every other day. It's like,
oh boy, all the Instagram influencers are going to be out in droves. It's going to be a big IG day.
National Beer Drinking Day, y'all.
All right, international.
Guinness, because you spoke to Nuno this morning.
Oh yeah, I did speak to Nuno, the CEO, of course, of a Diageo beer company, and I'll write something for Monday. Part of the interview was off or embargoed until their golden bars, but he did share some cool stuff, and I guess I was surprised at how fast their FMB and seltzer business is growing. According to they cut up data. I know how this is, so I'm not going to directly, because all these companies cut up data, and when you start quoting it, then their competitors will call me, right? They'll call us and be like, that's not right. That's only because the weeks don't matter, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, their F&B and seltzers are going twice as fast as the F&B category. Smirnoff Ice is 20 years old, and it is still growing and beating the category. Just regular old Smirnoff Ice. Again, who is drinking? I don't see a lot of these drinkers out there, but then I read somewhere that Smirnoff Ice is a big Gen Z brand.
Yeah.
So maybe bro icing's making a comeback or something.
Yeah, icing still hasn't gone away. People.
Oh, it hasn't. Is that still
people still love to do it?
Huh.
But their half-year numbers were really surprising. I think they did really well this first half, just off Guinness too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
also
on-premise, right?
twice the industry index average. So yeah, they're plus their pink lemonade is really growing well.
Is that Smirnoff too?
Yeah, Smirnoff Pink Lemonade and Smash and Ice Smash. So they're all of them are growing. And you're right, Guinness is doing pretty well. And did I miss the fact that they came out with a nitro coffee?
No, we talked about that, but
It,
I mean that's totally on trend and it's done pretty good, right?
yeah, I think it kind of coincided with COVID, so it came out and then got overshadowed by everything else happening.
Right. Well, he also said that the Lone River Ranch water acquisition is going great, and they're ramping up and extending territories. And he said he's very pleased with that deal so far, and that Katie Beal Brown, I'm saying her name right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's our girl.
It's not Katie Brown Beal.
Katie Beal Brown.
That's right. He said she's running the show pretty independently with very little direction from Diageo. She's just kind of leveraging Diageo's strengths, and so look for more out of those folks. And they'll be unleashing some new stuff at the Golden Bars next month or whenever that is. So, all right. The only thing else I wanted to talk about, and it's not this may be boring to a lot of people, but I read a interesting article. Let me pull it up. Sorry, I had everything pulled up and perfect, and then I decided to come to the office to do the checks.
I'm very curious as to what this article is going to be. I mean, it could be many different things.
Yeah, so we've talked about this a little bit, and it's the federal government looking into, and the Biden administration directing the FTC and the DOJ to issue reports and basically look into anti-competitive practices in the beverage alcohol industry. And I initially kind of just said that was it's just what it is. It's busy work for government people, and I still think in some way that's true, but also it is pretty serious whenever you have the federal government looking into this thing. And there's a couple of things. One is last Thursday, the Treasury Department published the request for information. So they're actually asking for information from the public. Problem is they're only doing it for 3 weeks in the middle of summer, so they're probably not going to get much. The article's by Robert Tobiassen, who's he's the head of NABI, National Association of Beverage Importers. And he found one interesting thing. The FTC was stating they were writing something. And just as an aside, they indicated that there were barriers to entry for smaller suppliers. So I'm sorry. I had this all worked out. I should have left my home because I had to switch computers, but
I
can't really see.
But that independent retailers thing in early June here in Austin, we had that. There was a panel with Southern. There was a panel with the small liquor store owner, Pickles Liquor, and the other guy. It was the Campari guy. And the retailer brought up an interesting point. He was like, "Well, the other two tiers are getting so consolidated, but retail largely hasn't been." And I'm thinking, I mean, what about Amazon, right?
Yeah, Walmart.
So I don't know. It's interesting from that aspect.
I don't know what they could do. Part of this process is they want the TTB to get rid of rules and regulations that unfairly harm smaller producers, paperwork and tax filings and stuff like that. And I think that's great. I think the TTB has already been through that exercise. I think it's a lot easier now, for instance, to get label approval than it was 10 years ago. And the licensing process is easier now than it I mean, I applied for a license probably 25 years ago. It was, I mean, I had to hire an attorney, and it was a very, very prolonged and engaging process. But if the Nelk brothers are getting, licenses, I think I mean, they did background checks, and, they do all this kind of thing. And
who knows if they're legit though? I mean,
yeah, I had an arrest, when I was in college, and they brought that up. It's like, geez, come on. I mean,
what were you arrested for, Harry?
I had a rifle in the back of my car, and I got pulled over in Austin on the state capitol, and you're not allowed to bring firearms, apparently. Anyway, long time ago, I was 17 or something. So, what are y'all doing this weekend? Anything fun? Jordan, what are you up to?
Not a whole lot, man. We're helping Leslie's parents move, so we got a real fun-filled weekend going on.
Oh my God!
Nice and cool.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It is so miserable out. I can't.
We've been pretty lucky with all the rain, but yeah, I think it's about to really get stifling. What do y'all got going on?
I got a whole lot of
nothing. Yeah, Millicent's out of town. I'm gonna do some cleaning, a little spring cleaning. Jordan kind of shamed me last week, and in front of Sean, he says, "Yeah, you should go up and see that office. It's a pack. There's a lot of shit in here." I was like, "What are you talking about, Jordan?" He goes, "Harry, there's a pickle in its package on your desk that when you push it, it giggles or something. It yodels.
It's a yodeling pickle.
I don't see it. I think somebody swiped it.
It's somewhere around there. It's not dirty up there. There's just a lot of junk up there.
It's just a lot of random pickles.
Yeah. What can you do? Well, I'm gonna get some shit done over this weekend before Millicent gets back. You're gonna see the new Harry.
The new Harry, because I mean, we already had the new and improved Harry.
Old new Harry. Yes.
Did she get in front of Dave or
I
not?
did have McDonald's for lunch.
Yeah. How's it going up in New York?
Dave? Who's Dave?
Dave Portnoy. Dave Portnoy with
Barstool
Sports. Yeah.
For Millicent.
Yeah.
Well, I think her, she says that her aunt hasn't drawn a breath since they've been there. She talks a lot. She says she's been talking from 8 a.m. till she goes to bed, just nonstop. And no, she hasn't met Dave, but she's met like the CEO of Body Armor and I don't know, some other people that she met. Somebody who's a good friend with Dave Berwick, so sending him a picture. And but I don't know, she's kind of busy up there, so I've only gotten a few texts. But her cousin got inducted to the Hall of Fame today for the Horse Racing Hall of Fame. So big deal. And I don't know if Dave Portnoy will be there, but I know he's a big race fan, and he's a friend of Todd's, the trainer. Well, we've got a lot of unstapled checks here, so at least we have that. So I'll go ahead and make those deposits here at the office through the scanner that we have, and then go to the bank for the 2 checks and wait in line on a Friday afternoon in the heat for 2 lousy checks. They're not even that much. 2 lousy checks. But, I'm not just going to leave them. I mean, it's money. Yeah. I have to deposit them.
It'd be awesome if somebody sent you a check for like just enough money that it was worth depositing, but like stapled the hell out of it. So like they sent you a check, stapled the hell out of this, like $300.
Well, yeah. Well, one of the 2 checks is from a subscription service, Prenax, which their only job is to pay publishers on behalf of their clients. So their job is to send checks so that publishers can cash them. And they can't even get that right. They send checks that are undepositable.
Yeah.
And so listen, I put them on, I put the heat on, I put them on, what's it called, Jordan? Put them on
Business Bureau.
Put them on blast.
I put them on blast. That's right. Put them on blast on Twitter. I'm surprised they have a Twitter handle. Honestly, they look like the biggest 1984 company that you can imagine. I mean, the fact they stapled the check tells me that they actually have a human sitting there stapling the check. Even the smallest distributors have their checks automated at this point, where you could put the PO number on I don't know. It's just mind blowing to me. But, Jessica says we still get faxes from people.
But you can put Prenax on blast because they're paying on behalf of somebody, right? It's not even
I know
them.
That's exactly. That's why I did it. Because I'm not going to, I'm not going to put one of our customers on blast, but they're not our customer. All they are is a payment processing company. So yeah, I put them on blast and I said, look, and then I started talking big time. I think I'm Dave Portnoy or somebody, because then I was like, you know what, Prenax? I sent him an email, but of course it's like info@Prenax. So who knows who's reading it? I'm sure nobody. They probably have a dog like Biscuit that's there.
It's probably the stapler guy.
Yeah,
it probably is.
The guy.
And so I sent two like kind of mad emails. The first one was just like, how is it that y'all haven't figured out that this is your main job, is to print out checks and send them? How has nobody told you that stapling is not cool? Then I followed up and I showed a picture of one of the checks with the corner, chewed up so it doesn't go through the staple, because, this fucking staple's there. I sent that and I said, look, I am not going to accept stapled checks anymore. I'm just not. So if you send a stapled check, I'm just going to send it back to you, and I'm going to tell your clients that the reason you're not getting their newsletters is because your subscription service sucks. So that'll wake them up, because every bank pretty much on Wall Street uses Prenax pretty much. So we get a lot of checks. That's what's so irritating. If it was just one a year, I wouldn't be. But this every 2 weeks we get checks from Prenax that are stapled. I'm sorry that this whole podcast has turned into a rant about making deposits.
About staples. The stapler.
And I'm sure people listening to this are like, why is Harry doing this? Like, what? And the reason is I liked doing it. I like it. Everybody's remote, so I'm kind of the only one here, and it's not, or Joe Jordan is too, but it's not
I did it for a while, and it was highly frustrating. And sometimes you get an envelope with 3 checks and 3 different staples.
Right. Or 3 checks with 1 staple. That's even worse.
Yeah, and then you'd have to grow your fingernails out to get that little staple out. Well, if you use the little eater, you just
it'll tear
chunk a corner off.
The little eater is great if it's not a check.
Yeah.
If it's anything but a check. Even all the COVID information they gave me yesterday when I got the jab didn't have staples in it. Nobody uses staples anymore. First of all, they all end up in sea turtles' noses, right? I mean, I doubt we're all worried about staples in our landfills at this point. But still, staplers. People that staple checks are the same people that when they're coming to a party, they say, "Hey man, where's my hug?"
Gosh. This is Harry's new least favorite person.
Do tell. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I know a lot.
Okay, so Jen, especially you're an attractive young lady. If you're at a party, do you ever have that goofball guy that but you don't know him that well?
Yeah.
And he comes up, he's like, "Hey Jen, where's my hug?" And you're like, "I don't know you that
Bring
well."
My spirit bottle with me. Yeah. Right. Yeah, no, well, I think a lot of women like myself would give that a pass in previous years, and now it's just like no. Especially with COVID, right. It's the perfect
no hugs.
No hugs. No.
Unless hugs. No hugs given.
Right. Exactly. No hugs.
I like it. I like no hugs. I like no handshakes. What's that, Joe?
If you respond with a "Who are you?" I think that will shut that dude down real fast. Who are you?
Is there a particular dude you guys are talking about? I feel like there's a very particular dude you guys are talking about.
No, it's like if somebody walks into a party and then they're greeting everybody, and then one dude out of the background, "Hey, where's my hug?"
Yeah,
that guy.
Right. Right. It's like you're giving hugs to people that are your good friends, and then this jackass kind of pipes up like he's a part of the squad, and he's a fringe part of the squad.
I'm kind of surprised that happens.
It's usually I'm that guy.
Or does it happen? Oh yeah, I was gonna say, does it happen to Millicent when you're with her, or does it happen to you?
No, when I'm with Millicent, they always just assume I'm her father. One time they thought I was her grandfather. That was embarrassing.
Great. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? I've been thought to be the nanny of my son. So
why? Because you have olive skin or something? Or
yeah, because I got dark hair and he's a little towhead, and I was like,
oh yeah.
You
also look like doesn't Jenn look like she's like 22?
Oh,
I mean,
no,
you could pass for any age between like 20 and 40
and 50. Thanks. Hey, I'm Celsius growth rate. Sweet.
Yeah.
Mostly on the lower end of that, Jenn.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. Speaking of, I can't wait to get back out there next month for all these awkward hugs and.
Oh man. So what do you all think? I'm thinking about like CBC and MBWA, Binge, and are these events going to go on?
What's tough? I think because like if you look at the UK spike, it was pretty quick, right? They're also better vaccinated than we are, but a lot of people are getting vaccinated now. So I actually think this blip will be relatively quick, but I don't know if it'll be quick enough for September events, which is what's really tough. Like if I'm the BA right now, I'm sweating my balls off.
Yeah.
They just sent out a new brewer with a cover that says like, welcome to Denver to the CBC. Like, whoa, guys.
Oh man.
So, I don't know, Jay, what do you think?
I think it's going to be tough. I think you're probably gonna have to get vaccinated for anything you want to do.
Yeah.
That may not be the case in Texas, but outside of Texas and Florida, the Southeast, you're gonna have to be vaccinated for wherever you go. And then that really just makes it tough on events because how do they police that? I don't know if they're able to, really.
No, an honor system, maybe.
And they're kind of caught in the middle. I think gigantic events, they'll continue to go because they've just put way too much money in them. Like Lollapalooza last week or 2 weeks ago. ACL in Austin, I think that'll still go on. But if you're having like 10,000 people, I think that's gonna be tough.
Next couple months are gonna be tough.
Yeah, I mean Austin today went to stage 5, so
a lot more people are wearing masks around here again for sure in the last week or two. I think we'll be okay in January. I do.
I just worry about California though.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it does go faster like it did in the UK. The thing is that they're all on top of each other in the UK, so everything would sweep through faster, and they are more vaccinated, and people just forget that we're so spread out, and everything takes so much longer to happen over here.
Well, whatever happens in New York to that point will be the harbinger, however you say that word, right? Like the super densely populated places, but they're also that much more vaccinated too. So, and also when I think the UK's spike started, like all of that took place over warm weather. And obviously like Texas has warm weather on its side, but the rest of the nation, we're at a point where we're all going back indoors soon and it's going to be colder. So that complicates things a little bit. But I think with vaccination rates going up, hopefully they'll continue to go up. Hopefully it's just a short-lived thing. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think with this scare on the horizon, definitely vaccination has gone up. And it was already close to 70%, I think, before this. So we got to be.
I don't think it's that high, Jordan.
No, it wasn't that. It was like
it's like 50
or something.
I thought it was closer to 70.
I think fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Is 50 something.
Okay.
Barely, something like that. And of course, it's super regional. You know what I didn't realize? Florida is more vaccinated than we are in Texas right now. That's pathetic.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 44 versus 49.
Wow.
And
did you read about that city councilman from Galveston
No.
who was, he was always tweeting about not wearing masks and burning masks.
Yeah.
And
And then
he was only like 45 and caught
Yeah.
COVID and died within like 2 weeks. And it's so sad. All right, guys. Well, I want everybody to have a
All right,
good
on that
weekend.
note.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks
Have a
for
great
drinking
weekend.
beer, guys. And yeah, y'all have a great weekend.
Sunny
Now.
days ahead.
Get out there and have fun. All right, Biscuit. Hi, it's Harry. I wanted to hop on here real quick because I didn't have my notes in front of me on Friday when we were talking about the White House's executive order involving beverage alcohol. There are a few other things that I wanted to point out. You know, the first part of the executive order, all it's doing is looking at trade practices and seeing if they're enforced evenly, seeing if maybe some of the regs on the TTP's books are themselves outdated and anti-competitive, and to clean up that area. And the TTB, I feel like, has already been doing that. Their offers and compromise have been off the hook. And so I think that part of it's been ongoing and will continue. Will that mean increased enforcement? Probably. I think this all is heading that way. But the second part is what's really interesting to me, and that is the language is a little more vague there. And it's not talking about specific regulations and laws in the beverage alcohol code that are federal. The second part of it, to me, seems like it's looking for any competitive behaviors that are even outside the federal jurisdiction. And here I'm talking, of course, of state law, things like franchise laws and residency laws, the same things we've been fighting over for years. And the reason why I think that is the order declares that it seeks to find if there are any exclusionary, discriminatory, or anti-competitive distribution practices that hinder smaller and independent businesses or new entrants from distributing their products. To me, that's targeting volume caps and bans on self-distribution. It seems pretty clear to me. Question: will the TTB and by extension the DOJ and the DOJ and the Federal Trade Commission, will they seek to go that far to create a federal mandate or urge Congress to create a law that would supersede these state laws? Now, of course, the 21st Amendment, you would think, would block anybody from doing that. But we've seen just a slow creep on the 21st Amendment over the last 20 years that's continuing. So anyway, that's the watch out. I wrote the article over the weekend since we recorded Friday's podcast. So I wanted to add a little more perspective to that pod because it's Sunday evening. All right, guys, we're going to see you. We're going to record another one tomorrow. So thank you for drinking beer. And hey, don't be a stranger. All right. If you're in San Antonio, drop by. You can be on the pod, maybe, if you're cool. If you're cool as a cucumber, like old Biscuit here. Biscuit, are you cool? Oh, by the way, Jordan, I got you those headphones you asked for. I went ahead and picked out the color for you because these were a little cheaper than the black ones. So we got that, and I got my new face mask because everybody's masking up again. And this is a really silky, soft one. And it smells like dog. That's an added feature, right, Biscuit? Did you do that for me? That was very kind of you. Look at you. You know what? Hashtag Biscuit cares. Biscuit really cares. All right, guys. Hot girl summer to you. Ciao.